Hello guys, this is Terry from Genki Gaming TV. I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. So let's dive into this Yokai Origin video. Today's Yokai Origin, or this month's, is the Yuki Onna, which is Frostina Blizzaria. If you hear her calling, you better be going the other direction. If it's your typical Yuki Onna, no matter if she calls you yelling "baby it's cold outside" or something like that, trying to convince you to come inside, for when you do, you'll be presented with a icy embrace. As some of you know, Yuki-Onnas are a part of Japanese mythos or mythology in regards to yokais. The Yuki part of Yuki Onna is snow. The Onna is for woman, like Onahito, which would be used for like adult women or women in general. But there are some other Yuki-Onna stylized names, like Yuki-musume, Snow Daughter, Yuki-Onnago, which is Snow Girl, but they use like a older version of girl, and Yuki-Onessa, or Ane-san, like One-san, for sister. And there's also even Yuki Unba, like grandmother or granny, like Oba-san. The name Origin can also have references to other snowy or icy objects, such as icicles and like snowballs and things of that sort. One example of this is Tsurara or Tsurara-Onna. Another example is Kaneko-musume. Yuki-Onna stories, like the beginning of the origins for them, they start to become apparent or start to appear in like actual documentation and books and like different forms of written media back during the Muromachi time period. But there has been other stories, poems concerning Yuki-Onna from other periods of time as well. Sogi, which is a poem from modern-day Niigata Prefecture, has one of the first poems speaking of the legend of the Yuki-Onna. And in this initial legend from Niigata, a beautiful woman came to visit a man and became his wife from the woman's own desire. This woman was reluctant to go into the bath, and when she was made to go in anyways, she disappeared, leaving only a thin, fragmented layer of frozen icicles. That makes me sad, guys, because we don't want our icy girls to become all slushy. But as for Blizzaria and Frostina themselves, they both have had appearances within Yokai Watch. I believe it was either the latter part of Season 1 or the early part of Season 2 did we start to see Frostina in the lore. And Frostina herself combines two common words, a common word for snow or ice, which is frost, with a common name like Tina or Christina. Blizzaria, on the other hand, was a bit harder to get the name origin for, because Fubukihime doesn't exactly translate to what Blizzaria is. It lightly does, but instead of calling her Frost Princess or Frost Royale or something like that, her name origin is the combination of the word blizzard and aria. Aria is a type of song or a type of singing, but in some other word origins. I believe, I don't know what language this one is, but it's Granizia, which comes from Granizio, Hail, and Alice, which is really nice. I like that one a little bit better. Not to say Blizzaria is a bad name choice, it's just the flow that is presented by Granizia is a little bit more unique. Oh, so it's the Spanish one. So that makes sense. And we're not here to talk about clone characters today, just know that they exist, and only a few of them really should in this case, because some of the others are not traditional or true Yuki-Onnas. But as for Blizzaria herself, her first true appearance was, I believe she had some side appearances, like in Hanging with Mr. Krabby Cat, or the school side thing where she was Mrs. Blizz, or Fubuki-hime sensei. But her first true, like, standing appearance where she was a bit more prevalent was episode 122. And she was also very prevalent in episode 125, which is one of the ones with Haley Ann, Usopp, and the Hot Clan. And then she wasn't prevalent or wasn't shown in the series until episode 143, where Nate uses Blizzaria's medal for the very first time. And then her appearances skimmed off until 153, and then on 172. She did have other appearances as well, but her appearances were more or less saved or used sparingly in order to, I guess, build the hype of the character to a certain degree. As for the Yuki-Onna themselves, I'm going to talk a little bit more about their origin now. In modern-day Aomori and Yamagata prefectures, there are also still more similar stories about something known as the Shigama Onna. And also, Yokai Advisor, I know you're watching this, I'm not skipping over Goku, the Goku Blizzaria, I'm building up to it. I felt like I had to say that now because I might forget otherwise, but yes, Goku Blizzaria exists, and we'll get to her after some more of these origins. And in the Kami-no-Yama region of Yamagata, a Yuki-Onna would come visit an old couple on a snowy night to warm herself by the Yori, which is a sunken fireplace. It's basically a little fire pit that's in the center of the home. When late at night, the Yuki-Onna would again go out on a journey. The old man in the story attempted to take her by the hand to stop her from leaving when he noticed that she was chilly and cold feeling. Then, before his eyes, the girl turned into a whirling vortex of snow and exited the house through the chimney. This also does have some similarities to Kokakucho, and that is a night of a blizzard, like a night, like nighttime of a blizzard. And as the Yuki-Onnas would be standing out, like there's another story about Yuki-Onnas that they would be standing out trying to get someone to hug a child, or a Yuki-Inoko, or a Yuki-Ko. The Yuki-Onna would be asking people that were passing by to hug the child as well. When one hugs the child would become heavier and heavier until one would become covered in snow and freeze to death. It has also been told that if one refuses, one would be shoved down into a snowy valley. In Hirosaki, which is a part of Aomori Prefecture, it is said that there was a warrior, or a bushi, like a samurai, who was asked by Yuki Onna to hug a child similarly, but the warrior held a short sword, or a tanto, by the mouth and hugged the child while making the blade go close to the child's head, which allowed the warrior to avoid the aforementioned phenomenon known as being either thrown into a snowy valley or crushed by snow. When the warrior handed the child back to the Yuki-Onna presented the warrior with treasures as thanks for hugging the child. It is also said that those who are able to withstand the ever-increasing weight of the Yukin-ko and last all the way through would acquire great physical strength. So in order to get buff and strong, we gotta hug a snow child. Got it, guys. In Iwate and Miyagi prefectures, a Yuki-Onna is thought to steal people's vitality or their health, and in Niigata, we're bouncing back to that prefecture, they are also said to take the lives out of children and freeze people to death. Also in Nishimonai, Akita, looking at a Yuki-Onna's face and exchanging words with her would result in being eaten. In Ibaraki Prefecture and in Iwaki Province, which is, I think, Fukushima Prefecture, it is said that if one does not answer when a Yuki-Onna calls them, one would be shoved down into the bottom of a snowy valley. In Fukui Prefecture, they are also called Kushi-musume, or passing girl, and it is said that those who turn their back to the Kushi-musume when being called by one would get pushed down into the valley. If you guys do not get the flow of this, do anything mean to them, push down into the valley. Ignore them, push down into the valley. Hug them, freeze to death, unless you hold a sword to their children's throats. Yuki-Onnas are serious business. And now I can talk about Goku Fubuki-hime, or Goku Blizzaria. Goku Fubuki-hime fits the Yuki-Onna mold to a key. Frostina herself is like that small child wanting to be hugged or needing that hug, because she's shy and reserved, while Blizzaria herself is outgoing. Goku Fubuki-hime is pale humanoid yokai who greatly resembles Blizzaria. Her eyes have a light blue, I can't pronounce this word, Siskalas, and a dark pink iris. Her hair is black. Her hair is black with dark blue tips, which are tied in a ponytail. And she is clad, or she wears a light blue kimono, which has darker blue spots around the edge and a fluffy collar rim. On her right ankle, she has a large shackle with an eye on it, and the Goku yokai wear them from their imprisonment times. The Majin, or the big snowman guy that accompanies her, with the two dark pink eyes and the bucket on its head, is believed to be her only companion to a certain degree. Goku Fubuki-hime is a lot different than our Blizzaria because she's sadistic and cruel, delights in hurting others, and she also easily loses her composure when defeated. The Majin accompanying her is the only one she has ever shown compassion for. Together with the Majin, Goku Fubuki-hime has the power to control ice to an extent where she can easily freeze anyone or anything around her. and the Majin itself possesses superior physical strength too. Goku Fubuki-hime lived peacefully together with her younger brother. However, her brother was born with an unnaturally high amount of yokai energy, which caused him to involuntarily freeze people. Humans were afraid of those powers and sealed him away, which ended up turning him from the happy little yokai he was into the Majin of snow that we see. And I just got an annoying phone message. Oh, it's from my dad, so it's not annoying. I thought that it was from one of the other services I have, like a app notification or something. No matter what it takes, the Majin that carries her around is her brother. Goku yokai have been imprisoned for what they have done in the past, but a yokai named Rinni, a Z-rank yokai from the Emma tribe, has freed them. But with the yokai arcs, they depict Rinni as a yokai from the Onin tribe. But we're not here to talk about that poster today. We're here to continue talking about Blizzaria. Yeah, there's a couple more stories I'd like to kind of discuss. So we're gonna dive into it. This is one that you guys might like because it's a softer look, like kind of like the one where the Yuki Onna melted in the bath. That's just sad. Had her husband not told her or forced her to take a bath, she would have been fine. They often appear in stories about interspecies marriage. The story's similar to Lafcadio Heron's Yuki Onna, where a mountain hunter gets married to a woman who stayed the night as a guest, and eventually the two birthed a child or had a child. When one day the man carelessly talked about the taboo of getting married to a Yuki Onna, which resulted in the woman revealing herself as a Yuki Onna, but instead of killing the man, having he figured out what she was, she left a warning: if anything happens to our child, you won't get away with it, before going away, or before disappearing. Then again, this story, as many others, has roots in Niigata Prefecture, some roots in Toyama Prefecture, and Nagano Prefecture, where it is believed that anyone who has come in contact with a Yuki Onna, or a Yuki Onna who has broken that taboo of marriage, would be killed by mountain spirits. Okay, if you realize you've married a Yuki Onna, don't say it. Just compliment her on how the bed is always cool and how the other side of the pillow is equally as cool as the side of the pillow you're laying your head on. You don't want to ruin this. You don't want to have a death threat and then your child gets really sick and then you're like, oh no, my child's gonna die, and you start panicking because you know you're gonna be hunted down by her if the mountain spirits haven't gotten her. They, like, modern day Yuki Onnas don't directly reflect the mythos of a Yuki Onna. I will give Frostina and Blizzaria and the Yuki Onna from Nalahyun a pass, because they are really close to being proper modern adaptations. But there are other animes, manga, and games, and live-action movies and modern adaptations of the Yuki Onna that I have to just shake my head at because they're not proper. It's right now we have adaptations where a Yuki Onna is more vampiric, and she will drain her victim of blood or life force. and occasionally have mannerisms of succubus. Guys, Yuki-Onnas are not into that stuff. They don't want sexual energy. They just want food or life force. They are not vampire. They are not frozen vampires that want your bod. And with that being said, there are proper modern adaptations. The only negative about the Yuki-Onna from Narahyun, or the rise of the Narahyun clan, like the 1000 Demon Nightmare Parade, that anime, is she is too nice. Like, really, really nice. But she's indebted to the Narahyun clan. So, you gotta give her a pass for that. Other than eating life force or energy, she also enjoys ordinary food too. So, she's like every other yokai we know. And I will also say this, there is a sweeter marriage story, so where the guy doesn't get directly threatened. Yuki-Onnas sometimes do fall in love with their prey, and some even marry the human and live happily together with their husband in this situation. Well, at least until the true identity is found. This is the legend of the Yuki-Onna and two woodcutters. A long, long time ago, there lived two woodcutters, Minokichi and Mosaku. Minokichi was young, and Mosaku was a older gentleman. One winter's day, they could not come back home because of a frigid snowstorm that has set its sights on them. So they found a nice hut in the mountains and decided to sleep there until the storm disappeared or dissipated. On this particular evening, Minokichi woke up and found a beautiful lady clad in white clothing. She breathed on the older gentleman, Mosaku, and he was frozen to death. She then approached Minokichi to breathe on him as well, but stared at him for a while and said, "I thought I was going to kill you the same as the old man, but I will not because you are young and beautiful. You must not tell anyone about this incident. If you tell anyone about me, I will kill you." Several years later, Minokichi met a beautiful young lady named Oyuki, or Snow, and married her. She was a very good wife, very kind and very gracious with her foolish husband. Minokichi and Oyuki had several children and lived happily for many years. Minokichi then began to wonder, why isn't she aging? I'm getting old, why isn't she old? Or something to that extent. One night after the children were asleep, Minokichi said to his beautiful wife, "Whenever I see you, I am reminded of a mysterious incident that happened to me. When I was young, I met a beautiful young lady like you. I do not know if it was a dream or if she was a Yuki-Onna." After finishing his story, Oyuki suddenly stood up and said, "That woman you met, it was me! I told you that I would kill you if you ever told anyone about this incident. However, I can't kill you because of our children. Please take care of our children." She melted and vanished without a trace, and no one saw her ever again. This is a happier story. Do not deny me that fact. The reason why isn't a happier story is because those men decided to keep their Yuki-Onna thoughts in their head. Therefore, we don't have the sad tragedy of their wives getting all slushy on them or melting. This one was really good. The only con of this is that the young man shouldn't have said Yuki-Onna. Had he just said, "I think I met someone like you before," or that it may have been a dream or something like that, he would have been saved. He would have still had his wife. You don't want to raise children alone in feudal Japan. it's just not good. There's no real assistance, especially if your parents had died. You were really on your own. So probably luckily for him, the person writing the story is like, yeah, he has family, he's safe. But that's all I have today for the Yuki Onna story. I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, and if you happen to be married to a Yuki Onna, do not say the word Yuki Onna around her unless you want your wife to either melt, kill you, or disappear, because we don't want any of that. We want, as they say, happy wife, happy life. You want that. Don't mess it up. Just compliment her on how cool of a person she actually is. Like always, I do appreciate you guys. I hope you have a fantastic day. And yet again, happy holidays. And if you have a suggestion for another Origin video, please tell me. They do take a while to research and to sift through stuff that you're like, oh, this webpage is really useful, and then it turns out to not be useful. This literally took me about 30 days of researching on and off to get all of my notes for it, and then to get everything condensed. So I do appreciate the support. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you're not subscribed. We're trying to get 500 subs by the end of 2020. Please help. Thank you guys.